One of the worst nightmares with owning a car is getting a flat tire. We're going to learn about what to do when you have a flat tire, how to change it yourself, or when to ask for help. The first thing you want to think about when you have a flat tire is how long the car has been parked. If it's been longer than 24 hours, you may not need to change your tire with a spare. It may just need some air, and then you drive it to your PCT to figure out why is it flat. If the car has been parked for longer than 24 hours, I would first try to fill the tire with air. Get a portable compressor. It's nice to have those in your car sometimes. They plug in right to your cell phone charger, and they'll add air into the tire. Pump it up to 33 psi and see if the tire holds air for an hour. If it hasn't been longer than 24 hours, or if you get a flat tire while you're driving, you're gonna need to change it with your spare tire. And we wanna make sure we do this safely. If you find yourself in a situation where you're driving and you have a flat tire and you need to change it with a spare, the first thing you wanna do is make sure you get to the side of the road safely or somewhere where it's safe. You don't want to risk your life changing a tire near traffic. It's more important to be safe and save your life than to save the rim. So if it happens while you're driving, pull over somewhere where you're safe and make sure that you pull over on the opposite side of traffic. So if you're driving on the highway and you get a blowout and it's on the right side of the car, you want to make sure that you pull off to the right side of the road. If you get a flat on the left side of the car, you want to pull over to the left side of the road. So that way you're never changing a tire with your back facing the traffic. Also, you want to make sure that you're pulling over on level ground. You do not want to change a tire on a hill. It's very unsafe because the car could fall off the jack while you're loosening up the lug nuts. So it's very important that you're on flat level ground and you put your emergency brake on when you are changing a tire. You also want to turn on your flashers to alert other drivers to know that you're pulled over, that there's an emergency, that you're there so they can see you. It's also very important if you have one of those orange cones in your car, a flare, something just to alert people that you're here and you're working on the car, especially if you are on the side of the road. You need to make sure that your car has all the tools and equipment that you're going to need to change a spare tire. And not only do you need a spare tire, a lug wrench, and a jack, your spare tire needs to be filled with air. I've seen it often where people have a flat tire, they pull over, they get their spare tire out, and it's flat. Okay, so we have all the tools here that we're gonna need to change a tire. We've got our lug wrench, we've got our jack, and our spare tire that's filled with air. There's some additional tools here that may help you when you're changing your tire, like this knee pad, because as you can see, you will be on your knees. If you don't have a knee pad, you can use one of the floor mats in the back seat of the car. And also we have this additional pipe to use with the lug wrench to give us some leverage when we're trying to bust those lug nuts loose. So let's get started. The most important step with changing a tire is placing your jack under the lift points. So we have to find our lift points first. You can find that in your owner's manual. Often the jack will even have a diagram on it showing you where they are. But get down on your knees and get low to the ground and look underneath the car. You'll see two notches here and there's a tab sticking out between these two notches. That is your lift point where you want to place the jack. So now that we've found our lift points, we're going to start lifting up our jack. And you can just use your hand initially. And we want to go righty-tighty, which is clockwise, to turn this. And you can see how it's lifting up. And turn it till it gets tight that you can't really turn it anymore. We're trying to just get a little bit of load off the car. We're trying to get a little bit of load off the car so we can loosen the lug nuts. All right, so now that we've got a little bit of load off the car, we're going to loosen the lug nuts. And this could probably be the hardest part about changing a tire, because sometimes it's really hard to get those lug nuts off. But we're going to show you some ways to make it a little bit easier for you so you can bust these lug nuts loose. All right, now I want you to think about that game or the toy when you were a kid that you played with that was the square peg and the square hole. It's the same concept here. We have the hexagon peg and it's going in the hexagon hole. You want to make sure your lug wrench is on squarely to this lug nut. All right, and remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We got it on there nice and square, and we're going to use all of our might to try to loosen this lug nut. Ugh. It gets a little bit hard, but I got that one. Now, if you can't loosen it just with your hands, you can use the weight of your body by stepping on the lug wrench. That one's a little too high. I put that one really tight. All right, so we've got this one loose. Now, that one was a little bit difficult too, so if you need to, keep a piece of pipe in your car, in your trunk. You can use it to give you a little bit more leverage with your lug wrench. Let's try this one. That one was a lot easier. So we want to make sure that we loosen every single one, but you do not take them off. And they should be loose enough that you can turn them with your fingers. So do this with all 5 lug nuts. All right, we've got them all loose now. It's time to jack up the car. Okay, so we've loosened our lug nuts. We're back here at the jack. It's time to lift the car up off of the ground. And now you really want to just get enough space underneath the tire so it spins and you can remove the tire. We're going to use our lug wrench and this handy little hook tool that they also give you. There's 2 ways to do this. You can just use the hook if you want, sliding it in the holes, and we're going clockwise again, like this, to lift the car up. This is going to take a few minutes. You're going to get a nice bicep workout, shoulders, which is good. You can also use your lug wrench to help turn it as well. So using your lug wrench here can give you a little bit more leverage, but it does get a little bit awkward with the hook. So sometimes if you don't want to use this, you can just use the hook. Slide your hook tool through the holes so it doesn't hit the ground. All right, let's come over and check our tire. Nope, still on the ground. This is going to take you a few minutes. You'll get a nice arm workout. All right, let's come check our tire. You see how it's spinning, which means it is off the ground, and we are ready to remove our lug nuts and take off the tire. All right, our tire is off the ground, and we have to remove all of these lug nuts that we loosened earlier. So you can do it with your hand. Oh, that one's still a little tight. Keep them in a safe place. Make sure they don't roll down the street. Got to put all 5 of them back on. This one is not quite loose enough. All right. Let's grab our spare tire. And we really want to line up these 5 holes here with these 5 lugs right here. So we've got it on. Use your hand to kind of help hold it on while you put these lug nuts back on the lug studs. Just with your hand. You only want these to be hand tight. Don't need the lug wrench at this point yet. Okay. All right, we've got our spare tire on, we've got our lug nuts hand tight, and now it's time to lower the car. And it's the same steps that we did to raise it, except instead of going clockwise, we're gonna go counterclockwise. So you're gonna use your hook tool, and start lowering the car. Be very careful not to put any hands or feet underneath the car while you're doing this. Safety first. And you don't want to lower the car all the way down. You just want to lower it and so the tire is touching the ground. You don't want all the load off. Just a little bit, like in the beginning when we took a little bit of load off to loosen the lug nuts, we're putting a little bit of load on to tighten them. Let's check our tire. It's still spinning. Got some more work to do. All right, checking our tire again. We see that it's on the ground. We don't have it all the load off, but just a little bit. All right, our next step is to tighten the lug nuts. This is a very important step because there is a certain sequence you must follow when tightening the lug nuts. You want to start at one lug nut and then tighten it in a star pattern. So if we start up here, our next lug nut that we're going to tighten is here. And then our next lug nut will be this one. And then the next one here, and then here. So we made a star pattern. It doesn't matter when you're loosening the lug nuts what order you go in, but when you are tightening the lug nuts, you must go in the star pattern. It doesn't matter which lug nut you start with, you just have to do a star pattern. All right, so we're gonna start here, and remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, we're going right this time or clockwise. Again, fit your lug wrench squarely on the lug nut. Use a little bit of oomph to get this on tight. You don't need to step on it or jump on it. You can use just your hands and your muscle of your arms. Until it won't turn anymore. Just like that. Next one. There we go. Last one. All right, so we've got our spare tire on. It's time to lower the car. Or you can probably just use your hands again. All right, so we're all done with changing our flat tire. You've probably got your hands a little dirty, may have broken a nail like I have, but I just want to remind you of a few things. Your spare tire is a temporary solution. You're not supposed to drive on the highway or go above 50 miles an hour with a spare tire. Take your car to your PCT as soon as possible so they can replace it with your correct tire.